Hey everyone, and welcome. So, for the longest time, we've all thought of AI as being for, spreadsheets and calculators, the boring stuff. But it turns out its real, mind-blowing talent might actually be creativity. And the craziest part? It all comes from its single biggest flaw. So let's just dive right in. When you think AI, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably perfect math, right? Flawless logic, lightning-fast data analysis. We've always seen computers as these super precise, logical machines. But with the AI we have today, well, that's not even half the story. Look, we all expected AI to take over the tedious, repetitive work. But its true power isn't in being a perfect, predictable machine. It turns out it's really, really good at something much messier, much more human: creativity. It's less like a calculator and a whole lot more like this incredibly imaginative and, yeah, sometimes very weird creative partner. To really get why AI is so creative, we have to start with its most famous or maybe infamous problem. It's a bug that's so fundamental it might actually be a feature. Yep, I am talking about AI hallucinations. Okay, so this is the absolute key to understanding everything else. A large language model doesn't know anything. It's not a database. It's a super advanced prediction machine, and its only job is to guess the next word that's most statistically likely to appear, based on all the text it's read. It's built for what sounds plausible, not for what is actually true. And check out how this plays out in the real world. A truly random number should pop up about 1% of the time, right? But ChatGPT picks the number 42 10 times more often. Now, why on earth would it do that? Because the internet is absolutely flooded with jokes from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. The AI just learned that cultural meme as a powerful statistical pattern, and it completely broke its ability to be truly random. Trusting this kind of pattern matcher without really getting its flaws, well, it can lead to some serious problems. Just take the story of this lawyer, Stephen A. Schwartz. He used ChatGPT to do some legal research, thinking it was like a super smart search engine for facts. Big mistake. So instead of finding real legal cases, the AI did what it does best. It predicted what a legal case should sound like, and it just made up 6 of them, completely from scratch. They looked totally legit, with case names and dates and citations that seemed plausible, but they were 100% fiction. And this just perfectly shows you the real-world stakes. The judge was, let's just say, not impressed, and Schwartz got hit with a $5,000 fine for submitting a brief filled with AI-generated lies. It's a huge warning sign. These AIs make stuff up, and they do it with absolute, unwavering confidence. Now, the good news is the models are getting way, way better at this. One study showed GPT 3.5 had an error rate on citations that was nearly 100%. But the next generation, GPT-4, dropped that all the way down to just 20%. So the problem is getting smaller for sure, but because of how these AIs work, it might never totally disappear. Okay, so if that's the bug, where's the feature? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. That exact same tendency to connect ideas in ways that are statistically likely but not necessarily factually true. That's the secret to AI's creative superpower. I mean, think about how human breakthroughs actually happen. It's almost never a lightning bolt from a clear blue sky. It's usually about recombination, taking existing ideas and smashing them together in a new way. The Wright brothers, right? They didn't invent bikes, and they didn't invent birds. They connected the mechanics of balancing a bicycle with the way a bird's wing works to create something the world had never seen before. And that is precisely what an AI is built to do, just on a scale we can barely imagine. It's a connection machine. It's constantly looking for relationships between all the concepts in its training data. Its so-called hallucinations are really just the AI making a connection that to us might seem weird or random or even brilliant. So let's put it to the test. Let's see what happens when you give an AI 3 totally random, unrelated ideas. How about fast food, a patent for a lava lamp, and, why not, 14th century England? What could it possibly do with that? The AI came back with this: lava lampshire. A medieval-themed fast food joint, kind of like a castle, where all the tables are decorated with these cool lava lamps filled with what look like floating gemstones. Now, yeah, it's a ridiculous idea, but you have to admit, it's also undeniably creative. It found a connection where logically none existed. All right, psychologists have this classic test to measure a person's creativity. It's called the alternative uses test. So you take an everyday object, like a toothbrush, and you've got 2 minutes to list as many new uses for it as you can. Go ahead and think about it. Most people come up with like 5 to 10 ideas. So they gave this exact same test to an AI, and in those 2 minutes, it came up with 122 distinct ideas. 122! And sure, some were obvious, like cleaning tile grout, but some were surprisingly clever, like using it to sculpt the frosting on a cake or as a tiny drumstick for a dollhouse. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about the number of ideas. When they had human judges rate how creative the ideas were, GPT-4 scored better than over 90% of the human participants. So the machine isn't just generating more ideas. By human standards, it's generating better, more creative ideas than most of us. Okay, so we have this tool that is flawed, kind of weird and unpredictable, but also an incredibly powerful creative partner. So how in the world are we supposed to actually use this thing? Let's look at our real-world experiment. Professors at the Wharton Business School had their students use AI in an idea generation contest. The results were, honestly, they were staggering. Out of the top 40 product ideas selected by the judges, 35 of them came straight from ChatGPT. The students were completely outmatched by the machine. And this right here reveals the new workflow for creativity. You let the AI do what it's best at, generating a huge volume of possibilities. Your job isn't to have that initial brilliant idea anymore. Your new job is to be the editor, the curator, the human with the taste and judgment to sift through all that noise and find the one brilliant signal. And this way of working is about to be everywhere. I mean, soon, every single app you use, your email, your documents, your design software, it's all going to have it. And it deserves a name, the button. Anytime you're staring at a blank page, you're just going to push the button and the AI will give you something to start with. Now, the arrival of the button is way more than just a new feature. It's forcing us to ask some really deep, kind of uncomfortable questions about what we actually value about human work and about creativity itself. I mean, just think about it. For all of human history, we've used effort as a proxy for care, for meaning. A professor who spent hours writing you a letter of recommendation, that signaled that they really believed in you. But now, an AI can write a better, more eloquent letter in 30 seconds. The effort is gone, the signal is broken. And now the question is it a disservice not to use the better tool? This applies to everything, performance reviews, college essays, you name it. And this is the fundamental challenge we are all about to face in every creative field. When a good enough first draft is instant, free, and often better than what we could have made ourselves, what is the purpose of the human? The new skill, the new premium, won't be on generating the idea. It will be on taste, on judgment, on the vision to see the masterpiece hiding inside the machine's infinite suggestions. That's the new human task.